Welcome to BSG Gibson Show, BSG. Hello, BSG Fighters. Welcome back to another episode. This is season 6, episode 17, featuring Courtney Elliott, all the way from the United States. A data analyst, performance improvement specialist. As intended, I am going to transform your mind into a strong and positive mind. Before I dive into today's topic, I'd like all of you to know that my TikTok and YouTube community are different from my podcast community, so check out my videos on these platforms. Welcome, Courtney.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
Oh, I'm great. Today I feel really good. I'm very hyper and I'm just so happy today. And I've decided to rest in that emotion today.
Yes, I can understand that.
So can you kindly tell us more about yourself?
Actually, I'm from New York, and it's where I call home mostly. I'm currently in Texas. I am an educator by day, but performance improvement is where my heart lies, and data is also where my heart lies. So as a performance improvement specialist, I love reading through data. Data has such an enriching story. It tells you exactly where you need to start from, where you need to grow from, your wins and your improvement. It's just something that I love seeing when people are improving. It's like a machine, a well-oiled machine. When it gets going, it goes.
I agree with you 100% because data has been able to channel my energy in the right places. So today's topic is titled Beating Procrastination. But as usual, I will be sharing some top rules by a highly influential person today. Today's person is Chimamanda Ngozi. She is an author and a feminist. Number 1 on the list is the person more qualified to lead is not the physically stronger person. It is the more intelligent, more knowledgeable, the more creative, more innovative. And there are no hormones for those attributes. And number 2, it is not about being perfect or pleasant. It's about genuine care and empathy. So now, without further ado, let's dive into our topic of discussion, beating procrastination. Courtney, so a huge number of people have goals, but find it difficult to accomplish them. Why do you think that is the case?
I think it's the fear of the unknown and the fear of failure. It's common for people to feel anxious about what might happen if they go after their goals. And just the thought of things not working out is enough to stop anyone from trying. And perfectionism, things are not always going to be perfect. And sometimes that's just enough to stop people right in their track.
Yeah. And also, a lot of people have shame. Let me explain. The reason why Sharon can do the things she does and is consistent and keeps getting back on her feet again is because I identify myself as a shameless person. So I'm not afraid of being laughed at. I'm not afraid of you shaming me for looking ridiculous online or failing. I can remember I was like unasked to my teammates. I'm an athlete and I was unasked to them during the season because of course they got on my nerves. So I brought out my bitchy attitude and I was being a bitch to like most of them, right? And one of the races that I ran during the season, I was last but won. That didn't break me. I didn't make that break me. Obviously, when I came back home, like I was crying because I didn't expect that. The shoe it came off while I was running and the rain, it wasn't even like rain dropping. It felt like stones were dropping on me and I wasn't used to it because I didn't grow up in France. So I didn't even know what that weather was about. But I was like, I don't care. You can see me fail. I don't care. And what I did was to just go back. I didn't even look at anybody when I went back on track to train. I didn't even speak much to my coaches. I didn't even smile at anybody. I just went to train. And the next race, I was second. I think one of the things that most people do have is like that feeling of shame. I'll feel ashamed if I feel like this. How will people look at me? Once you have the shameless mentality, it'll be easier for you to deal with the fear of failure. That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've had situations like that too. When I failed and it's in front of everyone, I'm like, oh man, that's
in
it.
front
I'm
of your
done.
enemies too.
But then I realized, like, come on now, get back up. You got it. What's wrong with you? Keep it moving. It's like, what's wrong with you? You got this.
Yeah, exactly.
Laugh at yourself.
Exactly. Laugh at yourself. If you can get over the failure or failing in front of your enemies,
Yep.
and you're still still alive. You're still moving. You could still eat. But that was very painful. You know how like I'm like, oh, I'm the best in the team. I'm the best in the team, and I go there and I make that error.
Trust me, I
That
understand. I get it.
that can kill your ego, lower your self-esteem, lower your
Yep.
confidence. But you know what? I still went back on track and I was still being a bitch. I was like, I'm gonna win as a bitch. I promise. Honestly, but honestly speaking, I think like you're right. Like the fear of failure really makes a lot of people not accomplish what they want to do, and perfectionism, just trying to get it right. But TikTok has shown me that you don't have to be perfect, especially like in your video creation before you come on that platform. So many people post certain videos that have zero quality in terms of the video, not the content, not what you're saying. Like, but it gets a lot of views, a lot of engagement. People's lives are transformed by just watching that video. I would say a lack of energy and motivation are huge factors as to why people do not put in their all to reach their higher self. What is your take on that?
I do agree. Lack of energy and motivation are big factors. Like I said before, stress and anxiety can drain the energy. It just makes it harder to stay motivated. That kind of plays a huge part of it.
Yeah.
But when people believe in their potential and stay positive, it helps boost their energy and motivation. But sometimes it's just having that support too. If you don't have that
Yeah.
support and you have to fight and be your only support, that
Mm.
just makes you just want to just stop everything and just walk away.
I love what you said. Believe in your potential, because that is what has kept me going. There are so many times where I've been my only support. In
Yeah.
fact, most of the seasons of my life, like 95%, I have been my only support. I could release a book right now or release a course online, and my mom will support, like those supports just in that season, right? But the rest of it, you're alone.
Yeah.
You know, most of it, like so many episodes that I have released that nobody gives me any feedback or review about, the episode. It's just like
Yeah.
everything is dry. After like I've spent about 8 hours, almost a whole day editing an episode. But
Wow.
what you said, those words, believing in my potential and knowing what I carry and knowing my capabilities and what I can give to the world is what keeps me going and motivated. And I don't know, I just have this one soul in my head, like one person. I care about that one person. In as much as I want to reach millions of people, it will be amazing to do that. But I care about that one person who truly needs it. So sometimes when I even post an episode and I don't get a lot of listens, I'm like, at least there's one person amongst my listeners who listened to it, who got something from it and was able to get through their day. And it really helps. It's amazing to have support, right? But unfortunately, majority of us, even though you have friends and family and even mentors, you might not have that support.
Yeah.
You have to be the one to tell yourself that, you know what, I am going to get me there. I'm the one going to push through no matter what. It's on you. We're not ignoring divine help and spiritual help. No, we're not ignoring that. But without you, you wouldn't move. You wouldn't get to the next point. There are times where like I've been sick, weak, flat out. In fact, I can't do shit. I said, I'm sure my enemies, they'll be like, this girl, which girl is this? Because
Yeah.
like every week you see me comment on social media or do something or put it in the work. Not to say that my life is smooth, but through the pain and everything, I'm motivated. That's why I love what most successful people say, which is so true, is that do what you love. Because there's pain everywhere. Once you do what you love, you wouldn't have to look for motivation.
I totally agree with that.
So how do we prevent ourselves from making excuses?
My favorite thing is SMART goals. It's setting clear, specific goals that has a time limit that breaks it down into pieces. It shows exactly what we're aiming for. It keeps us accountable. And also figuring out those triggers, like what triggers those excuses. Taking the time to check on your progress. Notice when those excuses start popping up. Kind of smack yourself a little bit. Not actually smack yourself, but like, you know what I mean? But see it as a challenge, as an opportunity to learn, and just don't give up. You got to cry in the corner while you're doing it. Cry in the corner doing it. When I think about my work in performance improvement, data is such a key thing, and ignoring some of the data or jumping to conclusions too early, it just messes up everything. Take time, put the goals in. Change doesn't happen in a day. Take it a moment at a time and don't overwhelm myself. Those thing that I do in my life, or the things that I think in my life. And keeping that helps the procrastination a lot, because I used to be a horrible procrastinator. So I've gotten better with data and everything else.
Don't jump into conclusion because change takes time, which is so true. For example, even when I started being an athlete, when I got into the club, I was thinking that, I'm going to be on fire and this is going to work this way and that way. I know it's not the same data as in finance. Please let me use the data, creative data.
Listen, data is data. Data works
Okay,
no matter what type of data it is. It's data.
But as you're saying about change, in my head, when I look at other athletes, it takes time for you to move from one stage to the other. You have to work on your muscles. You have to work on your speed. So many techniques that would add to your success. But Sharon Gibson was thinking that she's going to get everything like immediately. So when I was failing and things were happening, I almost gave up because the data that has been shown for an athlete to succeed is that you have to take your time. You have to do a lot of muscle work. You have to work on your speed as well. There's a way in which you're supposed to move your legs, which will take time for your body. It could even take a year.
Are you ready for the comfort break question? Comfort break question.
If you could live in a different country for a year, which country would that be?
I've actually always dreamed of France.
Ah, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Bienvenue. So do you speak French?
No, I don't.
But why
Yeah.
France?
I've just always had this love for Paris. I have the Eiffel Tower everywhere. And I don't know, it's just something that I've always loved watching, loved being around, loved being in. It's just, I don't know how to explain it.
Have you been to France before?
Not yet, no.
Yeah. When you're ready to come, you could just give me a color. Just call me. But the truth is, if I could live in a different country for a year, which country would I choose? For someone like me who hasn't really been a dreamer when it comes to the country I want to live in, I usually just think about vacations. Still choose France. From the bottom of my heart, I think I'll still choose France. For so many reasons. It's not perfect. I mean, nowhere is perfect. I love my life here. It can be very sad sometimes, but yeah, we're here. So yeah, we're moving on to the next question. How do we keep a consistent rhythm while improving on our performance in any aspect of our life?
That's mostly reviewing your progress and adjusting the goals as you keep track. No matter what the data is you're looking at, you have to keep track of that goal. And sometimes that goal changes, and that's okay. And using planners and calendars to block out time for specific tasks, no matter if it's 5 minutes or if it's 10 minutes, just try to make improvements over time. Doing it all at once is going to reactivate that procrastination. It happens to me all the time when I try to take on the world because for some reason I think I'm superwoman, think I can do it all at once. And I end up falling, and then here comes the procrastination, and then I'm like, no, don't do that. Break it up into pieces and just be flexible. You're human. It's okay to make mistakes.
That's so true. I do agree with you. I've changed my goals several times, but I still stick to the plan. I change the goals maybe because it's not favoring me at this point in time. Everything I plan is geared towards improvement, is geared towards developing myself, right? So let's say, for example, I set a goal that maybe I want to study in an Ivy League school, maybe Yale University, right? I want to do my master's or a PhD in Yale. To me, what's the end goal? The end goal is not necessarily to go to Yale. The end goal is to add value to myself, is to develop my skill. So then when life happens to me, I look at the data of my life and I'm like, okay, at this point in time, I really cannot go to Yale. But what's the end goal? The end goal is to add value to myself. So how then do I do something else to add value to my life and still get the end results from going to Yale? So to me, that's how sometimes I change my goals. When you know your why, then you know why you're doing something. It can help you change your goal, but then again, you still get that end result, which would add to your life. And keeping a consistent rhythm, yeah, that's so true. Don't do it all at once because you burn out. There's sometimes I would always say you can do once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. Sometimes all the days of the week you are on fire and that's good. But take time to rest, Netflix and chill. Just take a walk, enjoy life. You didn't come to this world to be working.
Yep.
I am a serious person, but at the same time, I don't know how to even say how much I love myself.
Yeah.
And I protect myself. It might be a little bit off topic, but I see myself as a mother to my inner child. So in as much as I haven't given birth to any live baby yet, I'm a mother. And if you are trying to do anything to kill that inner child, trust me, I can become like a tiger, and just like not physically attack you, but the way I'll be firm in my decision and go like, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with this. There's a difference between hard work and stress.
Yep.
You can work
Self-care.
hard but not be stressed. If you see me, I work hard, but I don't stress myself.
Yes, but stressing yourself out isn't going to do anything but just put you back in that hole, make you feel like you're just falling apart. That's why I'm a firm believer in self-care. Self-care is everything.
I'm telling you, self-care is self-love. Self-love is a solution to everybody's problem. Because if you love yourself, you wouldn't please others. If you love yourself, you wouldn't care who's going to laugh at you when you try something. If you love yourself, you wouldn't care about failure. You care about how to feed your inner soul, how to feed your purpose, how to find your purpose. If you love yourself, self-love is the foundation.
Everything.
Yeah. What would you say to anyone struggling with procrastination right now?
Well, you're not alone. People struggle with procrastination. I still struggle with it too.
I know, me too.
Nothing to be ashamed of in the world of data. It technically actually takes 5 years to really implement that change and have it stick. Yeah, especially if it's like a big firm education-wise. It takes about 5 years to really see the changes.
Oh, that's interesting to know. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. So is there any life lesson you live by, and can you please share it with us?
Well, stay curious. Curiosity opens doors to new experiences, knowledges, and even different perspectives. It keeps the world exciting. It helps us embrace change instead of fearing it. Child, they're so curious about the world. They're touching things. They're running around. Sometimes as adults, we forget to do that. We also should be curious too. Keep learning, keep exploring, no matter where you are in life, age-wise, physically, anything. Just keep exploring.
I love that. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I was really loving this conversation.
Yes.
I was, but we've come to the end of the episode. But before we go, I'm going to go over the top quotes for today. I'm mixing it. I'm doing rules for success and top quotes. Today's top quotes inspired by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She said, number 1, the person more qualified to lead is not the physically stronger person. It is the more intelligent, the more knowledgeable, the more creative, the more innovative, and there are no hormones for those attributes. So as a feminist, basically what she's just talking about is the fact that like being a leader or being qualified for a role has nothing to do with the female hormones. It's about who is more intelligent, who knows the job, who is more creative to do the work, and who is more innovative to come up with new initiatives and also new ideas to foster change. So we shouldn't attribute any kind of role to just because somebody is female so she cannot do it. And number 2, it's not about being perfect or pleasant. It's about genuine care and empathy, which is so true. Nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm just a marketer. So when I talk about myself, I speak like I'm perfect, but I'm not perfect. Just genuinely care and have empathy towards others and towards what you do and just towards the world in general, and stop trying to put up a front to make yourself look like, you're a divine being. We are human beings, so nobody's divine. We wish we were. So embrace mistakes, as Courtney said in the episode. It's okay to make mistakes. So kindly leave a 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. Thank you very much for listening. I love you as much as you love yourself. BSG Fighters. Bye.